Hi there! I think I know why you're here. You're here to learn about Mickey's 10 Commandments. Well, without further ado, let's jump into it. Number 1. Know your audience. Identify the prime audience for your attraction or show before you begin design. Who are you building this for? Families, little kids, adults? Research and an understanding of who is paying to visit your attraction are important tools when starting a project. Now, a good example of this is Cars Land at Disney's California Adventure. The park needed a new land that was inclusive of the entire family. The research done on the film's reception led to developing Cars Land. Number 2. Wear your guests' shoes. Insist that your team members experience your creation just the way guests do. If your team members are confused or uncomfortable, your guests will be too. A good example of this is the most recent iteration of Dumbo the Flying Elephant at Magic Kingdom in Orlando. Park officials realized that guests were not enjoying the experience because the demand outsized the capacity and the climate made waiting unbearable. So to solve this, Dumbo's capacity was doubled and a new queuing system was developed to let families wait in an air-conditioned space. Number 3. Organize the flow of ideas. You must make sure there is a logic and sequence in both your stories and the way guests experience them. A good example to look at is Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye at Disneyland. It follows a clear sequence of walk through the jungle, enter the temple, go find Indy, and then escape the temple. Number 4. Create a weenie. It's important to build a visual target that draws guests further into your attraction in a clear and logical fashion. Good examples of this are the Disney castles. They draw people further into the park and down Main Street, USA without causing confusion. Number 5. Communicate with visual literacy. You must take advantage of all nonverbal forms of communication, be it color, texture, materiality, or anything else that tells you something without words. A great example of this is the World Showcase at Epcot. All the pavilions are built to tell you what country you're in through architecture and cast member costumes without a large sign right in front of you. Number 6. Avoid overload. The idea of too much of a good thing does exist, and it's something every designer should avoid when building an attraction. If you overwhelm your guests, they won't remember anything that happened. A good example of an attraction that is full of stuff that isn't overwhelming is the Haunted Mansion. This attraction offers a multitude of things to see, but they are all broken down into digestible chunks. Number 7. Tell one story at a time. Designers must stick to the storyline and tell it in a clear order. If you just add in things that might be cool, you could lead people on a tangent that will dilute the experience. A good example is the Carousel of Progress at the Magic Kingdom. This attraction tells a story about a family and the technology that has made their lives better, but the story is broken into vignettes that progress from decade to decade. Number 8. Avoid contradictions. Conflicting details in design will cause confusion in the minds of guests. A good example of this is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This land is built to convey guests that they are inside the world of Star Wars, from the architecture to the sounds of ships flying overhead. Every detail matches the idea of Star Wars. Number 9. For every ounce of treatment, add a ton of treat. If you lecture someone, odds are good they will tune you out. If you entertain someone, they will focus on anything you say. So, if you combine the two, you will successfully educate people with something they want to hear or see. A great example of this is Journey into Imagination at Epcot from 1983 to 1998. This attraction successfully took the abstract concept of imagination and made it understandable to guests through the introduction of amazing characters and dazzling visuals. And last but not least, number 10. Keep it up. If you build an attraction with stunning levels of detail and immersion, maintenance is the only way every guest will have the same amazing experience in perpetuity. When items stop working, people will notice and will be mentally taken out of the attraction. A great example of good maintenance is the American Adventure Show at Epcot. Because of the constant maintenance being done, guests can consistently enjoy a multitude of animatronics, projections, and music, all telling an amazing story together.